Hey, good morning and welcome to Holiday Ops. That was released yesterday on the 15th. It's the 16th, Saturday morning. I have my coffee. I've been busily checking out the Holiday Ops interface and how it works, so I'm going to go ahead and go through a bunch of that for you. As you can see in the garage, your entire crew has headed up to your vacation villa up here in the mountains. For me, that was about a 300 vehicle long convoy. So yeah, that was a bit of a mess. Had to put the Soviets on one end of the convoy and the Germans on the other because they fought the whole way up. A couple artillery rounds landed in there. Good news is it only stuns people now, right? But here we are ensconced in our Holdiay villa. I'm showing you this tank right here, the AC-1 Sentinel, because I already won this in the Holiday Ops. Won it sort of, came out of a crate actually. We'll talk about that as we go, but welcome. Grab your coffee, get your festive red shirt on like I've got. My jumper, as my Brit friends say. Actually, this is not a jumper, is it? It's a sweatshirt, isn't it? Is a jumper just a sweater or is it also a sweatshirt? I don't know. All right, these are questions we will hopefully answer while we go through Holiday Ops. Oh man, I almost forgot. I got the appropriate hat for Holiday Ops here. So let me switch out hats. Oh, look at that old guy here. All right, there we go. Got the appropriate hat on now. Santa, I know him. All right, I've turned off the camera so I can show you the entire screen. Sometimes important stuff gets hidden by my ugly mug. So we'll take a look at it here. You can see that we're in the main garage or in your garage. Move your cursor around and actually get away from the crew there. You can highlight the things that you can decorate. So you've got a tree, you've got some posts or a fence or garlands or whatever it is. You've got your house and there's a no man. Got the no man right there. So those are the things that you can decorate. If you take a look up here, you highlight that, showing your current missions. That's pretty standard. It's got a new festive little list on it. This tank can't do any personal missions, so nothing really new there. But if you highlight that right there, you'll see that my current bonus is 6% in the AC-1 Sentinel, or for the AC-1 Sentinel. So if you look at it, it says plus 6% experience, credits, and crew, which is actually pretty fantastic. And this will go through the whole New Year event. That gets better and better the higher level of festive whatnot and decoration collection you do. We'll get into that later. For the 6%, it's relevant, as you can see, for USA, UK, Japan, and Sweden. There are 4 different sets of decorations, and the nations are split among them. 2 of them only have 1 nation, the Soviets and the Chinese. The other 2 have, I believe, 4 nations for each of those. But that plus 6% applies to those 4 countries. If I picked another vehicle, let's try to find one that's different than those. There you go. So for the Germans, I'm up to plus 12%, so I'm a little bit further ahead. At the bottom, it tells you what you need to move to the next bonus. But once you start getting that 10 to 12 and higher bonus, that's impressive. You're going to be able to grind. You're going to be able to make credits. You add that on to your personal reserves. It's pretty awesome. So there you have it in the garage. Down here in the bottom right, I have 19 boxes. We'll get to that in a minute. These are the boxes that you earned through missions, not the ones you buy, which we will also cover a little while later. So you can enter into the decoration system by clicking on either one of those right there or that guy right up there. This actually brings you back to the Advent calendar. I'll just show you that real quick, which is nice. So there you have it. You can get right to there. You don't have to go through the store anymore, at least as long as this is going on. And, well, once this is no longer going on, the Advent calendar won't matter. So that's a nice little feature that they put in right there. And that is about it, I believe, for this screen. And we'll go ahead and start diving into the decoration and the other things you can do. Before we get started and I show you the missions and how you get presents, I was clicking around in here and I just found some kind of bug where I can't do much of anything I can click on my tanks, but I can't get there. This looks like my garage view, but I can't actually move around. And I can click on the snowman, but I can't get anywhere. And I click on this, and it gives me this view. At least when I do this, it actually changes my tanks around, so I can sort of see what's going on. But I can't now get back into, there we go. So that's how I did it. I clicked on there, and I got back into what I'm going to show you in a minute. So let's see if I actually can sort this out. There we go. So there is a bit of a weird bug. I don't even know how I got there, so just watch out for that. Realize if you click up here, you can then get back out of that area where I couldn't actually do anything. Just wanted to let you know before we get started on that. Alrighty, before I show you how to decorate your stuff, let's talk about how you get the decorations. If you dive into your missions tab right here, and then you go to your missions tab, because 2 levels deep of the same tab is... Anyway, events is the CGC. So over to the missions. That's the only event you got going on. For the missions, it is New Year's Bustle, and this is how you get your little boxes. You'll get 3 or 1, depending on what the prize is for the thing that you finished. And we'll show you how to open those in just a minute. But it basically is the standard stuff. Here's one. Kill 2 vehicles and survive. That gets you 1. You can do that 7 times if you look up the top right. Destroy enemy vehicles of 2 different types. I've done that 4 of 7. There's an armor blocking efficiency thing. It looks like I don't block shots very well. That one might be one of the ones that you actually have to consciously think about. Most of this other stuff's just going to happen while you play. You will notice that I've already completed quite a few of these down here. So 7 of 7, 2 of 2, 7 of 7, and this one was just once 5 of 5. And I got all the boxes required right here. You'll notice that it started on the 30th. If you remember the little advent calendar missions you've been clicking on and starting for the last week or so, that's what that is talking about. You haven't been able to get any boxes until the 15th when these other ones come in, but that's what it's actually talking about right there. So you can see that's how you get the boxes, and then they just show up when you finish the mission and you come out of the game. It'll show up there and you can open it right there. Now I've clicked out of that little window multiple times. I have a bunch of boxes. I'll show you how to open those up just so we can see how we get those things. But if you'll notice, this says through December 22nd. This event is actually going to the 15th of January. It's a 30-day event, somewhere around the 15th of January. So my assumption is that there will be another set of missions show up on the 23rd, which would be good because of the way they have the crafting and the shards and all that. Even if I was to complete every one of the ones that are currently out there, I'm probably not going to get enough shards or ornaments to actually complete anything. It's going to be a little tricky anyway. We'll talk about why when we get there. But because there's quite a few prizes you can get and a lot of ornaments required for it if you're going to try to min-max it and get everything that's available. But I'm pretty sure it looks like on the 23rd we'll get another set of these and we'll be able to get more ornaments and things like that. But we'll see how that goes. Let's move on back into the garage and we will talk next about how to decorate. Alright, for the decoration, you just go click on the tree or the house or something and it will take you into this page right here, or into this screen right here, which is the decorations. Starting from the left, you see you have a Christmas tree. You can see you put ornaments on the Christmas tree. You got a snowman. That's him right there. He's got 1 thing. House and lights has 2 things. Posts and yard has 1 thing. Going over to the Christmas tree, we'll take a look at it. You can see that I have put some level 5 things on there. If you click on it, you can take them off. And it's the highlighted one. That's the one that's not there. You could swap them out if you wanted to. And it comes off. Realize that these little symbols indicate the type of ornament that goes there, and there are multiple types. We'll talk about that in a minute. The little plus in the bottom right means you have an ornament in your storage that fits in that spot. See how this one doesn't have a plus? I don't have a treetop ornament. There it goes. Sorry, you can't have one of those. And if I want to put it back on, I go click. Watch the festive level go up right here. I'm at level 6. I'll do it once more. Watch that line go up and it increases. I'm pretty close to festive level 7. We'll talk about the rewards and things that you can get right there. For the rest of this screen, if you look at the bottom left, I have 19 boxes. That's the little festive boxes that I earned in my missions. I did not open them when they came up immediately after the game. I wanted to save them and show you guys that, so we'll get to that in just a second. There's a crafting button, which will take you to the crafting section, which we will also dive into. And then we've got collections over here. there are 4 different collections, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I alluded to a little bit of that when we were talking about the percentage bonus based on the different countries that are grouped in the 4 different groups, collections, if you will, of ornaments. That is pretty much this screen. You can look at your festive level and what it's getting you right here. That'll give you that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, that's just a bar telling you how close you are to the next level. There are 10 levels in total, and there are some pretty good prizes on that, which we will get to. All right, let's open a few of the boxes and show you how that works. If you don't open them immediately after your battle, you're just kind of grinding or cruising along, you may get a stack of them sitting there, but either press this button, or when you get the little window up, it says open the box, click that, and you'll come to a screen. Actually, I need to go open here one more time. That looks like this, and boom, congratulations, you got 3 different ornaments and a little goodie right there. All I've really seen there are small kits and such. I'm not even sure I've seen a large kit. Maybe I have. I haven't seen any gold or anything. I don't know what the list of prizes are for this particular thing, but they are for small things. There you go. So I got 2 small repair kits. That's all right. You can see I got a level 4, level 1, and a level 1. That top left is the level, and the bottom is telling you which type of Christmas ornament it is. So modern Christmas is one of them, and then this must be the Chinese New Year. We'll talk about what that means. That has to do with the collections, the 4 different collections. So you just open it again, and you get more stuff. All right, so I'll open these offline, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk about what you do with them. So just as an aside on this, you'll note that one of the things I got was some silver. So there are some credits available so far. The rest of it has all been small kits or 2 small kits. Just go through. There's a fire extinguisher on that one. We're getting towards the last. Oh, 10,000. There you go. That's not bad. A little bit more. So it looks like credits and kits is what is on the list. So far, that's all I have got. So after opening all of those, you can see that now I have 8 ornaments there, plus means I can put something in there. So I have a bunch of ornaments, and when I click on that, you'll see that now I have all kinds of lower level, looks like tier 4, tier 2, tier 1 awards or decorations. The snowman, I can put a snowman decoration. He's a 1. I can put something here. There's a couple 1s there. So I could load up everything, and that's where the strategy of this thing comes down. The level 5 ones are what you're going to need in order to get to the max festive level. So you need level 5 ornaments and decorations. You can put the level 1s and 4s and 2s and stuff on those. Try to bring up your level of your festive level high enough to where you can get the awards a little bit earlier, but eventually you're going to want all level 5s. So if you're in it for the long haul, then probably not really worth putting anything less than a level 5 in those spots, and you're going to want to go down to the craft. We'll get to that in just a minute. That's a strategy up to you. If you want to try to get some of the prizes earlier, some of the prizes are pretty good. Again, we'll go over those in just a minute. But there you can see now they've opened those boxes. I have a lot of stuff to work with. And now we'll go over to the collections. We'll talk about that. It looks really complicated, but it's actually pretty easy once you get over there and figure out what's going on. And it is more or less automatic. Not a whole lot you have to do with it. All right, so we'll dive into the collections. Just click onto that. Like I said, there are 4 collections. You've got Modern Christmas, Chinese, Soviet, and Traditional or something. I don't know. It's over here. Looks like we've got Modern Christmas. You click on that tab. It gets you to Traditional Christmas. And then you get Soviet New Year and Chinese New Year. And these are the collections. So this looks complicated, but it's not. This is the Modern Christmas collection and the level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 decorations. You can see that I have some filled in. The good news is once you find that particular decoration of that particular level, it puts it in your book, and even if you destroy it while you're doing the crafting, it doesn't matter. So you don't have to save them in your inventory. This is just automatic. It's just letting you know which ones you have found so far. And that will be important for filling this out later on if you are trying to get the prize out of the collections. And the prize for the collections, if you click on the 5, you can come down here and look at the reward. And basically it's a camo or camo set, which gives you an emblem, some holiday inscriptions, and a modern Christmas style unique camouflage. So you have to fill up every one of these level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, meaning you found every single type of decoration for that particular collection. This is the other collection right here. So you get what I'm going with that. There's the reward for that. It's the same thing. It's just a different camo style. And it's applied, if you look at the bottom, to vehicles of the following nations. So if we go back to here, this one is for USA, UK, Japan, Sweden. This one is for another 4, Germany, France, Czech, and Poland. And then we get to only for the USSR, and only, if we get down to 5, only for China. So that is basically how the collections work. Also, a good thing up here is this kind of lets you know what's going on with your bonus. If you put it over that, the calculation is your atmosphere level, as you can see at the top there, times your bonus level. Go down a little ways, you can see that, and I can't keep my mouse on it because it goes away every time. But you can see where it says collect decorations, 0 to 7, 8 to 18, 19 to 36. For this collection, I'm at 19 to 36, which gives me a bonus level of 2 times 6, 12%. That's why the percentages are different for the different collections in the different countries when you go back into your garage and find out what your extra percentage is for the event. That is pretty much it for the collections. Not a whole lot else right there to talk about, so we'll go back into here and talk about the next thing. All right, let's talk about the rewards, because everybody likes rewards. It took me a while to figure this out because I had leveled up my festive atmosphere a couple, and it told me I had some rewards, and I just clicked out of the windows, didn't want to go to it right then. Kept on playing, and I went, all right, well, how do I get these rewards? Because apparently I have some pretty good rewards, and it's this little tab right up here, list of rewards, which you actually click on, and it'll take you to the list of rewards, show you what you got. So these kits, they automatically show up. First level actually gets you a garage slot, which is pretty cool. More importantly, though, level 4 gets you another female crew with the brother-in-arms thing going on, and one more skill of your choice trained to 100%. So that's actually fantastic. So it's that free skill essentially, and then one right at 100%. You've got another crew member at level 6, which I haven't selected. You got one at level 8 and another one at 10, getting up to the top. The other thing you're getting is you're going to go ahead and get a free T29 on your first level of atmosphere, which is very simple to get right off the bat, so you get that. And then you're going to get discounts, and it's 100% discount up to tier 5. You can see I selected a Sherman 3 on my discount. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. 80% for the 6, and it decreases as you go, but a tier 10 tank with a 30% discount is actually pretty fantastic. Then there's some rewards that show up in your service record, which nobody really cares about. The interesting thing about this is you've got 4 crew members that you can put in a tank. If you're like me, then you've already got, or you're planning on getting, all of the female crew out of the personal missions. You should have got 1 free female crew because of their screw up on the mission a while back. Tank rewards, I believe, is what it was, which means you should have an extra 5 pretty soon female crew members, which is enough to put in any high tier tank. Most of them are 4 crew, but some of the nice ones are 5 crew in the high tier tank, so you're going to get another whole female crew. The trick on them, obviously, is picking the right nationality. You can always use gold to switch around their quals, but as of right now, nationality does not switch. So make sure you're picking the right nation when you pick the female crew member. Now let me show you how you do this discount thing right here. So it says select, I'll click onto that, and it is telling me to find a tank. Now what I did first though is I said, you know what, okay, wait a minute, I'm not sure what I want. So what I did is I went to the tech tree, I started looking around, and we'll do this tier 4 I get for free. So I went, tier 4s are universally crappy, let's find a really crappy tier 4 to get for free, and we'll go ahead and we will do the Type 95. So you can see that if I click on it now, I'm paying $166,000 for it. So let's not do that. Let's go back to the garage. Let's dive into here. Let's go find, I'm hit that bug again. Stand by while I get rid of this bug. All right, if I figure out how, I think I know how I got out of it, but I'm not 100% certain. So if I hit it again and I figure it out, I will tell you guys how to, that's crazy. But all right, so I have control of my garage once again. Go into the tech tree here. Yep, sorry, we already did that. So we've done the tech tree. We're gonna go back to the garage, and then we're gonna dive into our Festivus for the rest of us. We're gonna go back to our list of rewards, and now I want to get this free tier 4, and I want the Type 95. So what I'm telling you is I went and I found the one I wanted so I could kind of look around the tech tree and figure out which tank it is that I wanted. And then I came back into here so I can select it, and then you can sort it. This is the standard sort mechanism that they have to Japan, and it's a tier 4, so it already sorts you up that you get a free tier 4. It's one of these guys. There he is, the Type 95, and activate discount. And it says, are you sure? Because it's very important, that Type 95, and there it is. So it says, dude, you got a 100% discount. Now that's not in your garage yet, so you can activate the discount. My understanding is it stays there until you buy it. Just take that with a grain of salt. So Wargaming sometimes has sell-by days or expiration dates, so be careful about that. However, if we go back to the garage, and hopefully we don't get bugged again, we jump into the tech tree, and you can see right here, Type 95, 0. Realize that you need a slot, obviously, right? So I'm going to do this without a crew just to put it in my garage for giggles, and now I have the Type 95. Here's a small side note I didn't realize until recently. See these tanks here that I can buy that don't have the price on the bottom? That means I've already played them or bought them once before. If they have a price that you can see without highlighting it, these are tanks that you've not ever bought before, just so you know. Back to the garage thing, you can see that I've got one slot left. I had two. I put a Type 95 right there. There he is. Look at that beautiful beast, the Type 95 for free. So the interesting thing is they are giving you a couple garage slots in here. There's one right there. To be quite honest, I'm not sure if that came, if that was an extra or if that's the one that came with the T29. If anybody knows, I don't remember. That's a good question. Did I really end up with two garage slots? One automatically with the T29 and an extra? Or did it just, or was that just what came with them? I think it's what came with them. But there was another free garage slot right there, which was pretty cool. But still, that's clearly not enough to handle all these different tanks that are essentially free there. So, good job, Wargaming. You're tempting people to buy garage slots. There you have it. So you might ask yourself, well, how am I going to get everything decorated and get every one of the collections and make sure that I have a festive level of 10, I get every prize possible? Well, there's a couple ways. Number one is buy it. You can buy it. This little guy right here, if you click on that, you can purchase boxes, which we'll talk about at the end. And that's interesting because there are a lot of good gifts in some of those boxes. Again, we'll discuss that. The other way is to earn. That just takes you to the missions that I've already talked about. So I have earned some decorations, and we're going to learn how to craft, because if you're going to bring everything to a level 5, you're probably not going to find enough level 5s just popping out of the box to get where you want to be. So you have to craft and make the level 5s. Strategy-wise, because there are 4 different collections, you do have to be a little bit careful. And when we dive into the craft, we'll talk about that, and we'll do it right now. Because there are some options to do some random things that cost less. I seem to remember something like that last year. It costs you less in shards, which we'll get to in a minute. But then again, if you're looking for that last couple decorations, then you probably need to be more specific and tell it exactly what to make, which costs a lot more. This is why I'm saying I think there's probably going to be more missions later, because even with all of the things that I have currently won in the missions, I'm not anywhere near, that's not anywhere near enough to build enough tier 5s or level 5s to get me there to festive 10, let alone all 4 collections getting taken care of. So when you click in here, you've got the large Holodron Deco Rider. Okay, and I currently have 50 shards, so it'll tell you how many shards you have. Clearly, X number of shards builds a new type of decoration. This is interesting because this is all how to build it. This little tiny button right here tells you how to get shards, and you click on that first. So let's talk about that. You can see that I have all these things from those 18 boxes that I opened. And in order to break it down to get shards, you click on it, you break decoration. You can see that it says break for 70. So I clicked on that. I'm going to get 70 shards out of this one decoration. So I click on that. It goes, and off it goes. And I have now 120 shards. And I do that, and I have 190. And then I just have to keep on clicking because it's, no, you don't have to do that. Actually, you can go ahead and click on all of them. I was hoping Shift might click all of them like it would in the interface, but you're going to have to do this as far as I can tell. I don't see a select all anywhere, but I'm going to select every one of these dudes, and we're going to make as many shards as we can. Clickety, clickety, clickety. So strategy-wise, this goes back to what I'm talking about. These are all level 1, even up to the level 4. That doesn't really do me any good if I'm attempting to be min-max guy, and I want every single level 5, so I'll just accept that I'm breaking these. I am hoping it's not a huge mistake and that you can't get more of these after the 22nd, but I would be very surprised if there weren't more missions. You can see here it says 830 shards, which actually turns out to seem like a lot, but it's not, and I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to break all these decorations. I'm just going to make sure I'm not breaking any level 5s like a dope. Nope. So we're going to go boom. It gives you another warning there. Hey, dude, do you really want to do it? Yep, I sure do. Oh, pretty. Fireworks. Boom. And down they go, and it says, hey, you don't have any more decorations to break. So we'll click back out of that and back into craft. If there was a way back to craft, I missed it. Maybe it's in there. But anyway, so we're back into craft, and I have 1,090 shards available. All right. This is a little bit confusing at first, but they're pretty easy. These are the 4 collections. Random is, I'll describe that in a minute, but you can set it to go, I'm going to make a Soviet, I'm going to make a modern, tradition, or Chinese. Okay, so you set your collection, and then you say, I want to make this type of decoration, and you're going to have to go back over to the decoration thing and look at it and go, all right, what do I need? Yeah, I need a snowman. So I need a Chinese snowman. I don't have a Chinese snowman. And I want a level 5 Chinese snowman. I don't have him, and holy cow, 1,440 shards. Look at all the decorations I just blew up. I can't even make one level 5 specific decoration. But what happens if I go, hey, I'm going to randomly get a level? This is the one I do not recommend, but it's cheap, 300 shards. This means that I can, for 300 shards, I can get a random snowman Chinese, but it's going to be a random level, and it's level 5s I need, so I don't really recommend that one. That's really rolling the dice. Get it? Rolling the dice. This is a little more useful. So I set it to 5 because I know 5s are what I want out of this thing. Let's say I specifically want a Chinese snowman level 5. That gives me to 144. But what if I go, you know what? I have so few level 5s, I'm just going to roll the dice and see if I can get a random type of decoration at level 5 for the Chinese collection. That cost me 960. If you're like me and you don't have a lot of 5s of any kind, you might be tempted to go random, level 5, random type, and now it's at 480. So it's even less. And that's the button right there you press to make that thing happen. So that's just something you're going to have to play by ear. This is probably the most useful setting early on, and then this is probably the most useful setting maybe later, especially if you're looking at it going, you know, I don't really have a lot of Soviet decorations. I only have a couple, so I'm okay with getting a random kind, because more than likely I'm not going to get one doubled up on that. But as you get more and more decorations, more than likely you're going to have to do something like this. I'm going to have to find 1440 and get a very specific aimed type of decoration that I want right there. So let's, for giggle's sake, just go random. We're going to get a level 5, but we're going to do it for 480. So we're going to craft one of those. And I got that guy. All right, and let's just do it one more time. We're going to do it one more time because I'm feeling like a rebel. And we got a sleigh. So that is how this thing works. Pretty easy. We'll click out here and let's see how I did. Where does the sleigh go? Doesn't look like any of these. Did I manage? Oh, see, I managed to double up the same thing. The good news is that is probably one I didn't have, and it has filled in one of my collection spots. And that's unfortunate there because that sleigh does nothing for me, does it? Nope, not one single doggone thing. So I'm going to have to end up probably breaking that later on because it's useless to me. Where did the other one go? Oh, here we go. If you look over here, it says you have 1 posts in yard. I do not have my level 5 here, so I'll go like that. And boom. Brings me up to level 7 festive atmosphere, and I get a gift with rewards. These gifts are better than the little crates. Let's see what I end up with here. Bigger crate, it's exploding into a 60%, and these kits. And of course, I knew what that was going to be, right? Because, affirmative. Because I already knew that the gifts, or the list of rewards, was here. Once I hit 7, that's how it shifted from the 6 to the 7. And now I've got my 60% discount on a tier 7 tank, and I got these guys, these large kits right here. So it wasn't really a surprise. So far I haven't seen anything random in that particular box that I just opened. It's what you see is what you get right there. Real quick, we'll go ahead and break down that level 5. If you notice, it cost me, what was it, $4.80 to make the thing. And if I go to get shards, there it is, the unusable 5 that I got. Very unlucky. Of all the things I could have got, I ended up with the same one. And it's right there. If I click on it, I get 250 back. So I actually got a considerable amount of stuff back for what it cost me. 40 cost, 250 back. Wasn't terrible. So we'll just break that thing down and we'll get rid of that. And now we are back to, you have no more shards. And I am back up to, if I go back to craft, looks like it takes you right out of that. That's a little bit annoying. I'm back up to 380, which I cannot do the 480 thing anymore. So we'll just start saving from there. All right, let's talk about the money grab action right here, or how you can get your festive atmosphere up to a 10 today if you would really like to do so. First things first, you can see down here, I already looked at that for you guys. It says how to earn, so we click on that thing, and it says purchase boxes. Loot boxes. So we're going to click on that, and it'll take you to a web page. Let me call it up right here. Looks like that. So it takes you, opens up a web page on your browser, and you can see that there is Soviet, modern, traditional, and Chinese. That goes back to the collections, and it says select a box. If you highlight it, you can see that the prizes are as shown. You automatically get 250 gold pieces. You get a level 5 decoration, so those two are automatic, and a random decoration of any level. So that could be a 1 through a 5. So you're going to get 2 decorations. One is definitely a 5. It will be random in that it is random within the collection, right? So if I picked traditional Christmas, I'll get traditional Christmas ornaments, but what type? So that is a little bit of a gamble if you're attempting to fill everything out with that. But from what I understand, people who got the 50 and 75 box kits, we'll go over that in just a minute, more or less got everything they needed to fill out. But realize you're in only one collection, so you would have to buy a lot of boxes in all 4 collections to get that camouflage, and that's probably not something I'm too interested in. However, if you also look, you will additionally receive one of the following prizes, and those are all pretty good. I guess the 1 day of premium and the silver is not great, but definitely the emblem or inscription would make me want to poke my eyes out, but the rest of it's pretty good. I did buy one of these boxes earlier. It's actually 3 boxes, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second. And I got the AC1, which I showed you at the very beginning of the video. So that's where I quote-unquote won the tank, which is this little bit of a gamble. Now, it is not loot box in the strain of the thing that everyone's up in arms about, where it's gambling, because it gives you a value, pretty much automatic value in gold and items. If you only got the 250 gold and you got an emblem and that was it, you're probably coming out a little behind. But with almost anything else, you're coming out pretty far ahead. And remember, like I said, when you click on this, you're going to go ahead and you can see you've got boxes selected 3. So that's kind of interesting. Or you can take 11 or 25 or 75. 75 is 99 bucks, 25 is 39 bucks, and 11 is 19 bucks. So those are your selections on how many boxes you're going to get. Oh, by the way, you can give them as gifts. That's cool. Look at this little I accept the rules. You can't even click on this until you say I accept these rules, which I assume has some kind of verbiage about they're not responsible if you gambled and thought you were getting something or whatever. So you got to click on that, and then you can purchase it in any way, shape, or form you would like, and then you get the box. So reports from the forum are that this is a pretty good deal. You have people saying they bought the 50 or the 25 and 75 box purchases or plans or deals, if you consider that a deal, and getting like 4 tier 8 premiums and a bunch of tier 4 premiums. If you look at that, I didn't hold it there very long, but you can see that T-28E, Sentinel, Panzer B2 type, a Patriot, or the T-26E5 version of Patriot, the Lorraine, and the Scorpion. So those are the 4 tier 8s you can get, and you've got people saying I got 4 of those. One guy said he got 77,000 gold total out of the whole thing because of the different gifts. You can see that over here, and it's all the same for each one, so it's not a different set of tanks. It's all the same for each type right there. But if you look at the extra gold, you can get up to 1,000 extra gold with some. So lots of reports that it's a good deal. The cynical person in me says that the good deals are front loaded and it will be dialed back as the hype train gets moving. So that's what the cynical Guido says about what's going on here. Or maybe people are just getting lucky, or maybe it's just a good deal and you have a really good chance, relatively speaking anyway, of getting a tier 8. I think the one thing that's probably going to draw a lot of people to this is obviously that Type 59. There are going to be people spending stupid amounts of money attempting to get a Type 59 out of this. And of course, Wargaming can sit back and go, you know what, we're giving a value, right? So we give you that 250 gold. What we're giving you is roughly of value, and you have a chance of getting something better. So that's how they get around all that stuff. Well, all right, guys, that is pretty much it on how to do the holiday ops for 2017. Overall, I think it's actually a pretty good deal. Pretty enjoyable. Not very stressful. Some of the missions, I didn't dive into it. Some of the missions have the standard win requirements and stuff like that, but the event is so long and the missions are so relatively easy that just over time you're probably going to knock all those things out, no problem. Maybe a couple of them, like the block damage, is going to require some specific thought in a particular tank. Get out there and make sure you block the damage and do that kind of thing. But overall, I think it's a pretty good event. And plus, I got a Type 95, so that just doesn't get any better than that, does it? And an AC-1 Sentinel. The discounts are actually cool. By the time you get up to the tier 7, 8, 9, and 10, getting a discount like they have on there is pretty good. All right, guys, well, that is it. My coffee's getting a little cold. I have to go help paint some stuff. I hope you all have a good run up to Christmas, and we will see you at the next one.